Hello, hello. Welcome to the first one of these. I think we're gonna be seeing on YouTube. I looked up for some depanning Glamlite videos and I could not find any. So this might be the first video you see on YouTube. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if the formula will break once I try to replace some shadows and remove them. But essentially, we're going to be moving colors from Icee into this Glamlite Wine palette from the Happy Hour collection, and some colors from the Happy Hour collection into the Icee. So this is the Icee palette. We've got some beautiful colors in here, and the mattes in here are absolutely beautiful. The shimmers are pretty trash. So what we're going to do is remove shimmers from this palette that I do not like, and then put them in here, and put my favorite colors from this palette into the Icee palette. I'm going to be using this, this is actually an acne tool, but I saw other YouTubers using a tool like this to remove the pans from the packaging. These are cardboard palettes, so it shouldn't be too hard, but we don't know what the formula is like, and once we start pulling these directly from here, they may end up breaking, so we'll see what happens. This may be a cautionary tale to other people who are trying to pull Glamlite shades from their palettes. So from this palette, I'm going to be removing White Cherry, Fantastic, and Colorful Tongue. We are leaving Frosted Cherry and Fruity. So we're removing 3 from this one, and we'll be taking 3 out of this one. I got my glue over here, just some, this is I think off-brand, but you just need some super glue, some crazy glue to stick them down once they're ready. But here we go, let's try and remove these. First color removed. The shimmer shades are usually always the easiest to remove. So far we've removed 1. I'm removing the glue on the back of the shade. So far this glue in this palette is really easy to remove from it, so no problems yet. FYI, when you are removing these, there will be some damage to your palette. There always is. That's just something you're going to have to accept. There's a little bit of damage from where you enter to lift out. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, there's a bit of damage, once you pull it out. That's just something you're going to have to, accept. That's just something that comes with it. There's always, usually, when you're looking at your palette, an edge where you can see there's a bit of a gap. Like for this one, I can see here that it's quite tight up against this wall over here, but over here I see a gap. And I use this side of this, I don't use this loop. I end up using this flat side that helps me get in there. So on this one, I can see that it's quite tight. You always want to be careful because you don't want to accidentally miss and dig into your shade. So I would never start over here. I can see there's a gap over here, so I'm going to start from this top over here. Like you see how my little gadget, my little tool fits into here? It's going to shimmy in there and pull up. We got our 3rd shade. As you can see, there is cardboard in here. This is cardboard. Let me see if I can grab my light. See a little better. There, it's just cardboard in here. Those are usually the easiest ones to remove. So now that's removed, we're going to now do the wine palette. I'm going to set these to the side over here, and now we're going to be pulling from this palette right here. The 3 shades I'm going to be pulling from this palette is Chardonnay, Napa, and Fruity. So I'm going to start pulling these out. What should I start? Let's start over here. Start with Chardonnay. I found my entrance corner. Get in there and pull out. The reason I do this is because if there's a palette I'm not very happy with, like this wine palette, I gave it another chance last night. There's definitely a lot of shades in here that don't work. A lot of the tones in here are very mid-tone. This is quite a secondary palette. I don't want a secondary palette. I want to be able to just grab a palette and be able to use it. And I can't really do that with this one. So because of that, I'm going to remove my favorite shades from this palette that I liked, and I'm going to move it into my Icee palette. So I'm keeping my Icee palette and the shades I put in it, but I'm giving this away to a coworker that I have because I think she'll get a lot more joy and use out of it. I think she'll be able to work with it more. She doesn't mind having to grab several palettes to create a look. I right now just want to grab one palette and have it be done and over with. I don't want to like spend too much time figuring what I'm going to do, especially when I'm traveling. I only like to take one palette at a time. I'm trying to make sure I have enough space. I don't want to be taking multiple palettes. So far, so good. Again, in my experience of doing this, your hands will get dirty, FYI. In my experience doing this, that's a lot. The shimmer shades are usually always the easiest to remove. The ones that make it tricky are the mattes, because those are more dry, those are more powdery. These have some flexibility usually, so we're lucky today because all I'm removing today are the shimmers. I got my glue now, and I'm going to put the colors wherever I like to put them. Kind of put them in a similar way. I'm going to put this white here, Napa, this one's going to be the new Napa, and this one's going to be the new Fruity. So you just got to get your glue. I don't think you need that much. You'll see the imprint of what used to be there before, and you should be able to just put that there, push it down. You do not need a lot. If you put too much, like you don't want this stuff to start spilling out the sides onto your palette. If something changes in the future, you also want to be able to pull these out later on, so you also don't want to put too much of this super glue on it. You can see there, you can see that circle that was already existing there. I'm just gonna put like just a bit, you don't need that much. Push it down. Here you go. Your new palette. I think she's gonna love this. She's been saying she's been wanting some red shimmery color, so I hope she can get more use out of this palette than I did. I think this would be a really good Halloween palette for my friend. Here we go into the Icee. Let's see, how do I want to fix this? So I'll do that there. Put that one down there and that one up there. Okay, I think that should be good. Wow. Close up my glue, so be careful with that glue. Yeah. Hello, welcome my new Icee palette. I finally got some new colors in there. Still have some red shimmers, but now with these nice purple glimmers, I think the purple and the red will work really well. Usually from there, I just end up putting my little sheet back on, closing it up. After a while, you might want to come back to your palette and giving it just a little shake just to make sure that everything is not going to come out. Especially like this, when I'm about to give this one away, I want to make sure that these shades aren't coming out. So I'll turn it over, give it a little quick, a little quick shake. Make sure nothing flops out. That's like the worst thing. You don't want any of these shades coming out, and that's how you know you've actually glued this on properly. So happy. Here's my little exchange. Isn't that cool? So far, shimmers are easy to pull out from the Glamlite. Hope you'd enjoyed this video and my little new palettes that I have here. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye-bye.